I stand in the corner of the Celestine Gallery, champagne glass trembling in my hand, watching the man who destroyed me walk through the door with her. His fiancée. The woman whose father's money now bankrolls this entire exhibition. My life's work displayed on these pristine white walls like specimens in a museum of my failure. Marcus Wright moves through the crowd with that easy confidence I used to find magnetic. Now it just makes my stomach turn. His arm is wrapped around Bethany Crawford's impossibly tiny waist, her blonde hair catching the gallery lighting like spun gold. She's wearing what I recognize as a Marchesa gown. Probably cost more than I made all year. "Maya, darling, you look stunning." Rebecca, the gallery owner, air kisses both my cheeks with practiced enthusiasm. Her eyes, however, flick nervously toward Marcus and Bethany. Such a wonderful turnout. The Crawford Foundation's sponsorship really elevated the event. Elevated, right. Code for, without Bethany's family money, your little ethnic art project would have never seen these walls. I force a smile that feels like cracking glass. Thank you, Rebecca. I'm grateful for the opportunity. The words taste like ash. 6 months ago, I was in love with Marcus, believing his promises that my art mattered, that my voice as a black woman in the predominantly white art world deserved to be heard. Then Bethany showed up at one of his gallery viewings, blonde, connected, boring, and suddenly I wasn't enough. Suddenly my urban aesthetic was too niche for serious collectors. Suddenly I was exhausting him with my intensity. The breakup happened via text. 3 years together, ended in 73 characters. This isn't working. You're too much. I need someone who fits my world. Bethany fits his world perfectly. She's the human embodiment of a trust fund. Polished, appropriate, devoid of any rough edges that might challenge anyone's comfort. I take a gulp of champagne, the bubbles sharp against my throat. Around me, Manhattan's art elite circulate like well-dressed sharks, gallery owners, critics, collectors, all appraising my paintings with calculating eyes. My work explores Black femininity, vulnerability, strength. Massive canvases of women in moments of private power. The series is called Unguarded, and tonight I feel anything but. Your work is quite provocative. The voice comes from my left, smooth and accented. Korean, I think, though his English is flawless. I turn and my breath catches. The man standing beside me is devastating. Not handsome in the conventional sense. His features are too sharp for that, too predatory. He's maybe mid-30s, dressed in a black suit that probably costs more than my car. Dark hair swept back from a face of brutal angles. High cheekbones, strong jaw, full lips that curve in what might be amusement or threat. His eyes are the color of obsidian, and they're fixed on me with an intensity that makes my skin heat. A Patek Philippe watch gleams at his wrist. Gold cufflinks catch the light. There's a subtle gold chain at his neck, just visible above his collar. No wedding ring. Expensive cologne that smells like cedar and something darker. Thank you, I manage, hyper-aware that Marcus just looked our way. Good. Let him see me talking to someone who looks like he could buy this entire gallery without checking his bank balance. The vulnerability you capture. The stranger continues, his gaze moving from me to the nearest painting. A black woman sitting in a bathtub, her eyes closed, face tilted toward imaginary sunlight. It's honest, uncomfortable. Most people are afraid to be this exposed. Most people are afraid of a lot of things, I say, then drain my champagne glass entirely. The alcohol is making me reckless, including the truth. His lips quirk. What truth is that? That beauty isn't comfortable. That real art should make you feel something other than aesthetically pleased. And what do you want people to feel when they look at your work? I meet his eyes directly. Seen. Something shifts in his expression. Recognition, maybe. Or respect. Jin Park, he says, extending his hand. Maya Richardson. His hand is warm, his grip firm without being aggressive. The contact sends an unexpected jolt through me. I pull away too quickly. Maya. Rebecca's voice cuts through our conversation like a knife. Come meet the Crawfords. No. Absolutely not. I would rather set myself on fire than shake hands with Bethany's parents and pretend this is fine. But Jin Park's eyes have narrowed slightly, tracking the approach of Marcus and Bethany across the gallery floor. They're heading straight toward us, Bethany's hand possessive on Marcus's arm, her engagement ring catching the light like a weapon. My heart starts hammering. I can't do this. I can't stand here and smile while Marcus introduces his fiancée at my own exhibition, in front of everyone, proving that I wasn't enough, that I'll never be enough. The panic rises sharp and fast. I need to leave. I need to... Marcus is 10 feet away. His eyes meet mine, and there's something smug in his expression. Victory. He's going to rub this in my face. He's going to make sure I know exactly how much better his life is now that I'm not in it. 5 feet. The gallery seems to close in around me. Every eye in the room is watching, waiting. This is my moment, my night, and it's about to become a public humiliation. 3 feet. I turn to Jin Park, the words tumbling out before I can stop them. Please, kiss me. He goes very still. Those obsidian eyes lock onto mine with laser focus. What? I need him to see. My voice is desperate, raw. I'm beyond pride now. Please, just kiss me. Make it look real. Jin Park's gaze flicks to Marcus, then back to me. Something dangerous flashes across his face. Your ex? Yes. And you think a kiss will make him jealous? I don't care if it makes him jealous. I just need him to think I've moved on. The confession comes out broken. I need him to believe I'm fine without him. For a long moment, Jin doesn't move. Then he steps closer, crowding into my space with the confidence of a man who's never been told no. His hand comes up to cup my jaw, tilting my face toward his. If I do this, he murmurs, his thumb brushing my lower lip, it won't be acting. I don't have time to process what that means, because Marcus is right there, clearing his throat. Maya, I'd like you to meet. Jin Park kisses me. It's not a gentle kiss, not a performance. His mouth claims mine with possessive intensity, one hand sliding into my natural curls, the other pulling me flush against his body. He tastes like whiskey and something darker, addictive. The kiss is demanding, consuming, erasing everything else until there's only the heat of his mouth, the hardness of his body, the way his fingers tighten in my hair like he owns me. I forget where we are. Forget Marcus. Forget everything except the way Jin's tongue sweeps against mine, the low sound he makes in the back of his throat, the shocking hunger that explodes between us. When he finally pulls back, I'm breathless, dizzy. My lips feel swollen. Jin's eyes are black fire. His thumb strokes my jaw once, possessive. Then he looks at Marcus over my shoulder. You must be the ex. His voice is casual, but there's steel underneath. I can see why she upgraded. The room has gone quiet. Everyone is staring. Marcus's face is an interesting shade of red. I'm sorry, who? Jin Park. He doesn't offer his hand. Maya's, what would you call us? Beautiful. The pet name sends heat straight through me. I'm still pressed against his chest, his arm a band of possession around my waist. We're together. The lie should feel awkward. Instead, it feels like power. Bethany's perfect smile has frozen. How lovely. I'm Bethany Crawford, and this is my fiancé, Marcus Wright. I don't care, Jin says pleasantly. His gaze doesn't leave Marcus. Maya, which paintings are yours? All of them, I manage. It's my exhibition. All of them. He repeats it like a revelation, then finally looks at Bethany. Your family sponsored this? The Crawford Foundation, yes. Bethany's voice has an edge now. We believe in supporting emerging artists. Emerging. Jin's lip curls slightly. Maya's work is beyond emerging. It's exceptional. His hand slides down to rest at the small of my back, burning through the fabric of my black dress. I'll take the entire collection. The words land like a bomb. I'm sorry? Rebecca appears from nowhere, her eyes wide. You want to purchase everything. Jin pulls out a black card, handing it to Rebecca without looking at her. The complete exhibition. Have them packaged and delivered to my address by Friday. Mr. Park, that's nearly 40 pieces. The total cost would be... I don't care about the cost. His voice is absolute. I want them. Marcus looks like he's been punched. Bethany's smile has completely vanished. Rebecca is pale with shock. And I'm standing in the circle of Jin Park's arms, my heart racing, wondering what the hell just happened. Shall we get some air? Jin murmurs against my ear. I think we've made our point. I nod, not trusting my voice. He guides me toward the gallery entrance, his hand never leaving the small of my back. Behind us, I can hear the explosion of whispers, feel the weight of dozens of eyes tracking our exit. Outside, the Manhattan night is cool against my overheated skin. Jin releases me, stepping back to lean against the gallery's brick exterior. He pulls out a cigarette case, real gold, and lights one with practiced ease. So, he says, smoke curling from his lips. Tell me about the man who was stupid enough to let you go. The night air feels sharp against my flush skin. Jin Park studies me through the smoke of his cigarette, waiting. The street noise of Manhattan, taxis honking, distant sirens, the thrum of the city that never sleeps, fades into background static. There's nothing to tell, I say, wrapping my arms around myself. The adrenaline from that kiss is wearing off, leaving me shaky. We were together. Now we're not. Story of my life. Liar. He says it softly, but there's no judgment in his tone, just observation. You don't beg strangers to kiss you over nothing. Heat floods my face. I didn't beg. Please, kiss me. He mimics my desperate words with devastating accuracy. I need him to see. That's begging, Maya. The sound of my name in his mouth does something to me. Something dangerous. I should walk away right now, go back inside, thank him for the theatrical gesture and the absurdly generous purchase, and never see him again. Instead, I lean against the wall beside him. 3 years, I hear myself saying. We were together 3 years. He said he loved my passion, my art, my intensity. Then Bethany showed up, blonde, connected, appropriate, and suddenly everything he claimed to love about me was too much. Jin takes a slow drag of his cigarette. He's an idiot. He's practical. In his world, I was always going to be a temporary fascination. The exotic artist girlfriend. But Bethany? She's marriage material. She fits. You don't want to fit into a world that requires you to be less than you are. Jin's dark eyes find mine. That's not love. That's ownership. The words strike something deep. Speaking of ownership, I say, desperate to change the subject. You just spent a fortune on 40 paintings. Why? His smile is slow, predatory. Maybe I like your work. Nobody likes art that much. Maybe I wanted to see his face when I took something he thought was beneath him and proved it was priceless. Jin stubs out his cigarette. Or maybe I don't like watching beautiful women beg for scraps of dignity from men who don't deserve them. You don't know me. No, he agrees, but I'd like to. The words hang between us, weighted with promise and threat in equal measure. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes. A text from Rebecca. "Where are you? The Crawfords want to discuss the sponsorship terms for next year's exhibition." Of course they do. Because Bethany's family owns me now. They own this opportunity, this gallery showing, my career trajectory. Without their money, I'm back to showing in coffee shops and community centers. Jin must see something in my expression. What's wrong? Nothing. Just obligations. I straighten, preparing to go back inside, back to smiling and nodding and pretending my ex-boyfriend's fiancé funding my career isn't the most humiliating thing that's ever happened to me. "How much do you owe them?" Jin asks suddenly. "What? The Crawfords. How much did they invest in tonight?" I hesitate. 50,000 for the space rental, marketing, framing, the whole production. Jin pulls out his phone, types something. Mine buzzes immediately. I look down at the notification and my stomach drops. A wire transfer. $75,000 from Jin Park. "What are you—" "Consider it an advance," he says calmly. "Against the purchase of your work. Now you can pay back the Crawfords and tell them you don't need their sponsorship for next year." I can't accept this. "You already did. It's in your account." He slides his phone away. "Unless you'd rather stay indebted to your ex-boyfriend's fiancé?" The thought makes me physically ill. But this, accepting money from a stranger, feels dangerous in an entirely different way. "Why are you doing this?" I ask quietly. "You don't know me. We just met. This is insane." Jin steps closer, and I'm suddenly aware of how tall he is, how his presence seems to fill the space between us. "You asked me to kiss you," he says, his voice dropping. "So I did. And now I want to know what it tastes like when you're not desperate, when you're not performing, when you choose it." My heart hammers against my ribs. "That's not— Have dinner with me, tomorrow night. It's not a question. Let me take you somewhere your ex could never afford. Let me show you what it's like when a man actually values what he has." Every rational part of my brain screams at me to say no, to thank him politely, return his money, and run as far from this intensity as possible. Jin Park is clearly rich, clearly powerful, and clearly used to getting what he wants. This is a recipe for disaster. But when I open my mouth, what comes out is, "Where?" His smile is devastating. "That's a surprise, but wear something that makes you feel powerful." He pulls out a business card, black, minimalist, just a name and phone number in silver embossing. "Text me your address. I'll pick you up at 8. Then he's walking away, moving through the Manhattan night with the confidence of a man who owns it. I watch him disappear around the corner, my mind spinning. What the hell did I just agree to? Inside the gallery, the energy has shifted. People cluster in small groups, voices hushed and urgent. I catch fragments of conversation. "Bought the entire collection. Never seen anything like it." "Jin Park, you know who that is, right?" Rebecca intercepts me immediately, her face flushed with excitement and panic. "Maya, oh my God, do you have any idea who that man is?" "Jin Park?" I keep my voice neutral. "We just met tonight." "He owns half the commercial real estate in Koreatown, the Park Group. They're into everything. Luxury developments, private investments, international holdings." She lowers her voice. "There are also rumors about his other businesses, the less legal kind." My stomach tightens. What kind of rumors? Underground casinos, money laundering through art sales. Rebecca's eyes are wide. "Maya, he just bought your entire exhibition for cash. Do you understand what that means? That money could be clean," I interrupt firmly. "I'm sure it's clean." But doubt creeps in like ice water. The way he moved, the ease with which he threw around money, the dangerous edge underneath all that polish. These are not the traits of a simple businessman. The Crawfords are waiting, Rebecca says, touching my arm. They want to discuss next year's terms. Tell them I'll pay back their investment immediately. I won't need their sponsorship going forward. Rebecca's face goes white. Maya, you can't. I just did. The words feel like freedom and terror in equal measure. Thank them for their support, but I'm moving in a different direction. This is career suicide. The Crawford Foundation opens doors. Without their name attached, then I'll make my own doors. I walk away before she can argue, heading toward the gallery's back exit. I need air. I need to think. I need to figure out what the hell I just started. But Marcus finds me first. He corners me near the storage area, his expression tight with barely controlled anger. What the hell was that? He demands. What was what? I keep my voice light, though my heart is racing. That display with Jin Park. You barely know him. And? You barely knew Bethany when you started sleeping with her while we were still together. The words come out sharp, satisfying. Or did you think I didn't notice? Marcus has the decency to look uncomfortable. We weren't. Save it. I try to move past him, but he blocks my path. Maya, listen to me. Jin Park is dangerous. Whatever game you think you're playing. Game? I laugh, the sound bitter. You spent 3 years making me feel like I wasn't enough. Like my art was a hobby. My passion was exhausting. My existence in your world was temporary. Now someone sees value in my work, real value, and suddenly you care? I care because I don't want to see you get hurt. You hurt me. The confession tears out of me. You destroyed me. You made me question everything about myself. So forgive me if I don't take relationship advice from you. He's not who you think he is, Marcus insists. The Park family, they're connected to things you don't understand. Dangerous things. Maybe I like danger. The words surprise me, but I realize they're true. Maybe I'm tired of being safe and small and acceptable. Maybe I want to be seen as priceless instead of provisional. I push past him before he can respond, my hands shaking with adrenaline. Outside, I hail a cab and give my address in Brooklyn. As we pull away from the gallery, I see Marcus standing on the sidewalk, watching me leave. For the first time in 6 months, I don't feel small. I feel terrifying. Back in my apartment, a cramped studio in Bed-Stuy that's more character than comfort, I collapse onto my secondhand couch and stare at my phone. Jin Park's business card sits on my coffee table, the silver embossing catching the light from my single lamp. $75,000 in my account. Real money from a man I kissed once in a moment of desperation. I should return it. I should text him right now, thank him for the gesture, and explain that I can't accept his money or his dinner invitation. Instead, I find myself typing, 285 Hancock Street, apartment 4B. See you tomorrow at 8. His response comes 30 seconds later. Can't wait. Beautiful. I stare at those 2 words until my vision blurs. Then I do something I haven't done in 6 months. I smile. I spend the entire next day oscillating between excitement and terror. Jin Park knows where I live. Jin Park is picking me up for dinner. Jin Park might be involved in illegal activities that could destroy my career and possibly my life. But Jin Park also saw my work and called it exceptional. He kissed me like I was oxygen. He made Marcus look small and irrelevant with nothing but a credit card and absolute confidence. By 7:30, my bedroom looks like a clothing bomb exploded. Every dress I own is scattered across my bed, floor, and single chair. The instruction was to wear something that makes me feel powerful. But everything I own falls into 2 categories: gallery openings or paint-stained comfort. I finally settle on a black slip dress, silk, with a cowl neck that drapes elegantly. It's the most expensive thing I own, Purchased 3 years ago for a gala Marcus took me to back when he still claimed to be proud of having me on his arm. I pair it with heels that add 3 inches to my 5'7" frame, gold hoop earrings that belong to my grandmother, and red lipstick that my best friend Jasmine always says makes me look like I could ruin a man's life. Tonight, maybe I want to. At exactly 8 o'clock, my buzzer sounds. I take a breath, grab my clutch, and head downstairs. Jin Park is leaning against a black Mercedes S-Class, and the sight of him makes my breath catch. He's wearing a charcoal suit, perfectly tailored, with a black silk shirt underneath. No tie. The top 2 buttons are undone, showing a hint of collarbone and that gold chain. His hair is styled back, emphasizing those brutal cheekbones. When he sees me, something dark and hungry crosses his face. "You look devastating," he says, opening the car door. "You said powerful." Same thing. His hand brushes the small of my back as I slide into the car. The touch burns through silk. The interior smells like leather and his cologne. The seats are heated. There's champagne chilling in the center console. This is not a car. It's a statement. Jin slides into the driver's seat with fluid grace. Nervous? Should I be? He smiles, pulling into traffic. Probably. We drive in charged silence through Brooklyn, crossing the bridge into Manhattan. The city lights reflect off the East River like scattered diamonds. Jin handles the car with the same confidence he seems to bring to everything. Controlled, precise, with an edge of danger. "Where are we going?" I finally ask. "Somewhere private." That should worry me more than it does. "Jin, do you trust me?" He glances over, his dark eyes unreadable. "I don't know you well enough to trust you." Good answer. He turns onto a side street in Tribeca, pulling into what appears to be a private garage beneath a converted warehouse. Trust should be earned. Let me start earning it. The elevator requires a key card. We ride up in silence, the tension between us thick enough to cut. When the doors open, we step directly into a penthouse that makes my breath stop. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook Manhattan. The space is minimalist but clearly expensive. Dark wood, clean lines, art on the walls that I recognize from auction catalogs. A private chef is working in the open kitchen. A table is set for 2 by the windows, candles already lit. "This is your home," I say, realization dawning. Yes. Jin helps me out of my coat, his fingers brushing my bare shoulders. "I wanted privacy. And I wanted you to see something." He guides me past the dining area to a section of wall that's still empty. "This is where your work will go. All 40 pieces. I'm converting the east wing into a private gallery." I stare at the vast empty space, imagining my paintings. My black women in moments of vulnerability and strength, displayed here in this temple of wealth and power. Why? Because they deserve to be seen. Jin's voice is close behind me. Because you deserve to be seen. Not as a tax write-off for some foundation, not as a diversity checkbox for a gallery trying to seem progressive. As the artist you are. The sincerity in his voice undoes something in my chest. I turn to face him, and we're suddenly too close. Close enough that I can see the flecks of amber in his dark eyes, smell the cedar of his cologne, feel the heat radiating from his body. "Dinner's ready, Mr. Park," the chef calls softly. The spell breaks. Jin steps back, gesturing toward the table. "Come, we should eat before it gets cold." Dinner is impeccable, some kind of Korean fusion that manages to be both comforting and elegant. Braised short ribs with a gochujang glaze, perfectly steamed rice, sides that explode with flavor. Jin pours wine, something French and probably obscenely expensive. "Tell me about your art," he says. "When did you know?" I take a sip of wine, buying time. I always knew. My mother was a painter too. Nothing professional. She cleaned houses in Atlanta, but she painted in her spare time. These beautiful, vibrant scenes of Black life. Joy, struggle, resistance, love. All of it. I smile at the memory. She died when I was 19. Cancer. And I realized that her paintings were the only legacy she'd left. These windows into her soul. So you became a window into yours. Something like that. I meet his eyes. What about you? When did you know you'd end up here? His expression darkens. I didn't choose this life. It chose me. I was born into the Park family. That comes with expectations, obligations. He takes a drink of wine. My father built an empire. Legal businesses mostly. But there are shadows. Places where the line between legitimate and criminal gets blurry. Like money laundering through art sales? Jin's eyes snap to mine, sharp and assessing. Someone's been talking. Rebecca mentioned rumors. And yet you're here. He leans back in his chair, studying me. Either you're brave or reckless. Maybe both. I set down my fork. Tell me the truth, Jin. What do you really do? For a long moment, he's silent. Then, I manage the family's holdings, real estate, investments, acquisitions. Some of those acquisitions involve purchasing legitimate art, like yours, with money that originated from less legitimate sources. The art purchases clean the money, make it legal. The confession should terrify me. Instead, I feel strangely calm. So my exhibition was a legitimate transaction. Your work is worth every penny I paid. But yes, the money came from casino operations in Koreatown, underground gambling, high-stakes poker games for people who can't go to Atlantic City without questions being asked. His gaze never leaves mine. Does that change how you see me? I don't know yet. I take another drink of wine. Does it change how you see yourself? He laughs, but there's no humor in it. I stopped caring how I see myself a long time ago. Survival matters more than morality in my world. That's sad. That's reality. Jin stands, moving to the windows. Manhattan glitters below us like a circuit board. My father taught me that power is the only thing that matters. Everything else, love, art, beauty, those are luxuries for people who can afford weakness. I join him at the window, our reflections ghost-like in the glass. You don't believe that, don't I? He turns to look at me, and the vulnerability in his eyes catches me off guard. You asked me yesterday why I bought your work. The truth? Because looking at your paintings made me feel something I thought I'd buried. Something human. The confession hangs between us, raw and honest. What did you feel? I ask softly. Longing. His hand comes up to cut my face, thumb brushing my cheekbone. For a version of myself that doesn't exist anymore. For the man I might have been if I'd been born into a different family. For the kind of life where I could meet a woman like you without wondering how to keep her safe from my world. Jin. I'm dangerous, Maya. His other hand slides into my hair, tilting my face up to his. Not because I want to be, because I have to be. The people I deal with, the money I handle, the debts and favors and threats. It's all violence wrapped in expensive suits. Then why did you bring me here? His smile is sad. Because for one night, I wanted to pretend I was just a man taking a beautiful woman to dinner. Not a criminal, not an heir to an empire built on blood money. Just Jin. Just Jin, I repeat, my hands coming up to rest on his chest. I can feel his heart beating, fast and hard. What does just Jin want? His eyes drop to my lips. To kiss you again, but this time without an audience, without performance, just us. Then do it. He does. This kiss is different from the one at the gallery. That was fire and possession. This is slower, deeper, thorough. Jin kisses me like he's memorizing the taste of me, his hands cradling my face like I'm something precious. I press closer, my body molding against his, and feel the hard evidence of his desire. When we break apart, we're both breathing hard. Stay, Jin murmurs against my lips. Tonight. Just stay. I should say no. This is happening too fast, burning too bright. But I'm tired of being careful, tired of being appropriate, tired of shrinking myself to fit into other people's expectations. Okay, I whisper. Jin's eyes go dark with hunger. He takes my hand, leading me through the penthouse to a bedroom that's all dark wood and floor-to-ceiling windows. Manhattan spreads below us like a kingdom. Just so we're clear, he says, turning to face me. If you stay, I'm keeping you. You can't keep a person. Watch me. His hands find my hips, pulling me flush against him. I bought your art. I gave you money. I showed you my truth. Now I want all of you. Your body, your time, your thoughts, everything. That's insane. Yes. His mouth finds my neck, teeth grazing sensitive skin. But you're here anyway, which means part of you wants this too, wants to be kept, wants to be claimed. He's right, and that terrifies me. But I'm done being afraid. Then keep me, I breathe. Show me what that means. Jin's smile against my skin is pure danger. As you wish, beautiful. I wake tangled in sheets that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows that frame Manhattan like a painting. For a moment, I'm disoriented. This isn't my cramped studio in Bed-Stuy. This is Jin Park's penthouse. And last night I let a man I barely know possess every inch of me. My body aches in the most delicious ways. Jin was thorough, demanding, worshipful. He mapped every curve, every sensitive spot, every sound I made. It was intense enough to be almost frightening, the way he looked at me like I was something he'd been searching for his entire life. Speaking of Jin, his side of the bed is empty but still warm. I can hear movement in the kitchen, smell coffee brewing. I should probably feel awkward, unsure of the morning after protocol with a man who admitted last night that he launders money through art purchases. Instead, I feel powerful. I find one of his shirts, black silk, expensive, and slip it on. It falls to mid-thigh, the fabric whispering against my bare skin. My reflection in the bathroom mirror shows a woman I barely recognize. Lips swollen from kisses, marks on my neck and collarbone, eyes bright with something dangerous. Jin is in the kitchen when I emerge, wearing nothing but black pajama pants that hang low on his hips. His back is to me, muscles shifting under golden skin as he works the espresso machine with practiced ease. There's a tattoo between his shoulder blades, a Korean dragon, intricate and beautiful. That's new, I say, moving closer. You were wearing a shirt last night when we started. He glances over his shoulder and the heat in his eyes makes my breath catch. You were somewhat distracted. Americano or cappuccino? Americano, black. I slide onto one of the bar stools, hyper-aware that I'm wearing nothing but his shirt. Do you always cook breakfast for women you've known less than 48 hours? I don't cook breakfast for anyone. He sets a perfect Americano in front of me. You're the exception. Why? Because I meant what I said last night. I'm keeping you. He moves around the counter, caging me in with his arms on either side of my stool. This close I can smell soap and coffee and him. Which means we need to discuss terms. My heart kicks into overdrive. Terms? I want you, Maya. Not just for sex, though God knows that's part of it. His hand comes up to brush a curl from my face. I want you in my space, in my life. I want to wake up to you. I want to see your paintings on my walls and know they're mine, that you're mine. Jin, we barely know each other. I know enough. His thumb traces my lower lip. I know you're brilliant and brave and beautiful. I know you taste like heaven and sound like sin. I know that when I look at you, I feel human instead of hollow. That's not enough to build a relationship on. Then what is? Time? Marcus had 3 years and still couldn't see what he had. I saw it in 5 minutes. Jin's eyes burn into mine. I'm not asking you to marry me tomorrow. I'm asking you to be mine, exclusively. Let me take care of you, financially, physically, emotionally. Let me worship you the way you deserve. It should sound ridiculous. Possessive. Red flags everywhere. But the way he's looking at me, like I'm the sun, and he's been living in darkness, makes something in my chest ache. And what do you get out of this arrangement? I ask carefully. You, in every way. His hand slides to the back of my neck, pulling me closer. I get to touch you whenever I want, taste you whenever I want, wake up knowing you're mine, fall asleep knowing no one else gets to have you. That's very possessive. I know. He doesn't sound apologetic. I'm a possessive man, Maya. It comes with the territory, but I'm also loyal, protective. Once you're mine, I'll burn down the world to keep you safe. My phone buzzes on the counter. We both glance at it. Marcus's name flashes on the screen. Jin's expression goes cold. He's been calling? Since last night. I haven't checked my messages yet, but I can guess what they say. Warnings about Jin, concerns about my choices. Barely disguised jealousy. Jin picks up my phone, swipes to answer. Maya's phone. I can't hear Marcus's response, but I can imagine his shock. No, she can't talk right now, Jin says smoothly. She's busy, with me, in my home, wearing my shirt and nothing else. His eyes find mine, dark and possessive. And if you call again, I'll consider it harassment and handle it accordingly. Understood? He hangs up without waiting for a response. That was necessary, Jin finishes. He needs to understand that you're no longer available, that you've moved on, that if he wants to keep all his teeth, he'll stop calling. You can't threaten people. I can, and I will. Especially when it comes to you. He sets my phone down, his expression serious. Maya, I need you to understand something. My world is dangerous. The people I deal with don't play by normal rules. If word gets out that you're important to me, you become a target, a vulnerability someone could exploit. The reality of what I've stepped into starts to sink in. So, what are you saying? I'm saying that if we do this, if you agree to be mine, I need to know you can handle the reality of my life. Security, drivers, limited freedom in some ways. His hand cups my face, but unlimited everything else. Money, protection, devotion. Everything I have becomes yours. That sounds like a cage. A gilded cage, he corrects. But yes, a cage nonetheless. The question is whether you'd rather be free and vulnerable, or protected and constrained. I should walk away. This is moving too fast, getting too intense. But when I think about going back to my studio apartment, back to navigating the art world alone, back to seeing Marcus and Bethany at every event, the thought is suffocating. Let me think about it, I say finally. Jin's jaw tightens, but he nods. You have until tonight. But Maya? He leans in close, his breath warm against my ear. While you're thinking, remember how you felt last night. Remember what it's like when someone sees you as priceless instead of provisional. Remember that I'll never make you feel less than you are. Before I can respond, his phone rings. He glances at it, and something dark crosses his face. I need to take this. It's family business. He moves to the windows, speaking rapid Korean. I can't understand the words, but I recognize the tone. Authority, control, barely restrained violence. This is the other Jin, the dangerous one who moves in shadows and makes people disappear. I should be terrified. Instead, I'm fascinated. He ends the call and returns to me, his expression grim. I have to handle something. Family issue that can't wait. His hand slides through my hair. Stay here. Order food, watch movies, use my credit card. Whatever you want. I'll be back by tonight. Jin, I have my own life. I know, but for today, let me keep you safe while I deal with things you don't want to know about. He kisses me hard, claiming, think about my offer. And Maya, last night wasn't just sex for me. It meant something. Then he's gone, leaving me alone in his penthouse kingdom with nothing but his shirt, my confusion, and a choice that could change everything. I spend the day wandering his space, trying to understand the man who's inserted himself into my life with the force of a hurricane. His art collection is extensive, a mix of classical Korean pieces and contemporary works. There are photographs, too, tucked into less visible corners. A younger Jin with an older couple who must be his parents. Jin in his 20s with a group of men, all radiating danger. Jin alone, staring at the camera with eyes that have already seen too much. My phone continues buzzing. Messages from Rebecca, from Marcus, from Jasmine demanding to know where I am and who this mysterious billionaire is. I ignore them all, curling up on Jin's couch with coffee and the weight of impossible decisions. By the time the sun sets and Manhattan transforms into a constellation of lights, I've made my choice. When Jin walks through the door just after 8, he finds me waiting. I'm wearing the black dress from last night, heels on, makeup perfect. His eyes darken immediately. You're still here. I'm still here, I confirm, standing. And I have conditions. Something like relief crosses his face. Name them. First, I keep my career, my art, my exhibitions, my autonomy in that space. You can buy my work, but you don't control my creative output. Agreed. Second, I want transparency, not about your business dealings. I don't need to know details, but about us, about what this is. No lies. Agreed. Third, I step closer, my heart pounding. If I'm yours, you're mine too. Exclusively. No other women. No ambiguity. Jin's smile is slow and devastating. There hasn't been anyone else since the moment I saw you. There won't be anyone else ever again. Then yes, I breathe. I'm yours. He crosses the space between us in 2 strides, pulling me against him. Say it again. I'm yours, Jin Park. His kiss is possessive, hungry, sealing the deal between us like a blood oath. When he finally pulls back, his forehead rests against mine. You won't regret this, he murmurs. I better not. His laugh is soft. Come, I have something to show you. He leads me to the east wing, the space he's converting into a gallery, but now it's not empty. My paintings are already mounted, lit perfectly, displayed like the masterpieces Jin insists they are. Seeing them here, in this space, takes my breath away. You did this today? I had people working around the clock. He pulls me against his side, both of us staring at my work. This is how your art should be seen. How you should be seen. Priceless. Tears prick my eyes. Jin, no one will ever make you feel small again, he promises. Not Marcus, not anyone. You're mine now, and I protect what's mine. I turn in his arms, looking up at this complicated, dangerous, devoted man who's claimed me so completely. What happens now? His smile is dark and full of promise. Now I show you exactly what it means to belong to me. 3 weeks into belonging to Jin Park, and my life is unrecognizable. I wake up in his penthouse, our penthouse now, every morning to fresh coffee and whatever breakfast I mentioned wanting the night before. Jin's staff appears like ghosts, anticipating needs I don't even know I have yet. My clothes have migrated from my bed-stuy studio to his master bedroom, hanging in a closet the size of my old apartment. Designer pieces. I would never buy myself appear regularly. Jin's way of taking care of me. My art studio situation has also transformed. Jin purchased the entire floor below his penthouse and converted it into a private studio for me. North-facing windows, professional lighting, every supply I could dream of. I paint during the day while he handles his various businesses, legitimate and otherwise. The nights belong to us. Dinners at restaurants that don't have prices on menus. Benefits at museums where everyone knows Jin's name. Private concerts in our living room by artists I've only heard on Spotify. And the sex. God, the sex is addictive. Jin is thorough, possessive, inventive. He's mapped every inch of my body and memorized exactly how to unmake me. But there are shadows, too. The security that follows me everywhere, discreet but ever-present. The way Jin's jaw tightens when I mention wanting to visit my old neighborhood. The phone calls he takes behind closed doors, emerging with a coldness in his eyes that takes hours to thaw. The night I woke up and found him standing at the windows, whiskey in hand, staring at the city like it was something he needed to conquer. Today, I'm meeting Jasmine for lunch. My best friend since college has been demanding to meet the mysterious billionaire who stole my best friend's common sense. Jin agreed, reluctantly, but only after assigning one of his security team to shadow us. Jasmine takes one look at Marcus, Jin's head of security, built like a tank and dressed in an expensive suit, and raises her eyebrows. "Okay, so, the rumors are true," she says, once we're seated at a cafe in Soho. "You're dating actual Korean Mafia." "He's not Mafia," I protest, though even I'm not sure that's true. He's a businessman with complicated holdings. Complicated meaning illegal? I take a sip of my latte, buying time. Complicated meaning I don't ask questions I don't want answers to. Jasmine leans back, studying me. We've been friends for 8 years. She knows me too well. "Maya, I love you. So I'm going to be real with you. You look happy. Happier than I've seen you since Marcus. But you also look scared. I'm not scared of Jin." "I didn't say you were scared of him. I said you look scared." She reaches across the table, taking my hand. "What are you afraid of?" The question cracks something open. That I'm in too deep, I admit quietly. That I've fallen for a man who lives in a world I don't understand. That one day I'll wake up and realize I've lost myself trying to be what he needs. Have you lost yourself? I think about my studio, my art, the way Jin encourages every creative impulse, how he listens when I talk about my work, asks intelligent questions, pushes me to be bolder. No, he doesn't want me to change. He wants me exactly as I am. Then what's the problem? The problem is that his world is dangerous. There are things he does, people he deals with. Jasmine, I don't know how to exist in that space and stay clean. You think his money is dirty? I know it is, at least some of it. I meet her eyes. Does that make me complicit? Before she can answer, my phone buzzes. A text from Jin. Emergency. Need you home. Now. My stomach drops. I show Jasmine the message. Go, she says immediately. We'll finish this later. Marcus materializes at my elbow. Ms. Richardson, the car is waiting. The drive back to the penthouse feels endless. Marcus won't tell me what's wrong, just keeps making calls in Korean, his expression grim. When we pull into the private garage, Jin is there waiting. He looks dangerous, jaw tight, eyes cold, dressed in all black. But when he sees me, some of the ice melts. Thank God, he breathes, pulling me against him. You're safe. What happened? Inside. Now. He guides me to the elevator, his hand never leaving the small of my back. Marcus and 2 other security personnel follow. In the penthouse, there are more people, men in suits who radiate violence despite their corporate attire. They all bow slightly when Jin enters, a gesture of deference that makes my skin prickle. Jin leads me to his office, closes the door. There's been a situation. What kind of situation? The kind where a rival family decided to send a message by targeting what's mine. His hands cup my face, tilting it up so he can study me. Did anyone approach you today? Follow you? Anything unusual? No. I was just with Jasmine. I know. I had 3 people watching you the entire time. He releases me, moving to his desk where a laptop is open. This arrived an hour ago. He turns the screen toward me. It's a surveillance photo, me and Jasmine at the cafe, taken from across the street, written across the image in red. Pretty artist. Shame if something happened to her. Ice floods my veins. Who sent this? The Huang family. Rival organization trying to expand their territory. Jin's voice is cold, controlled fury. They know you're important to me. They're using you to send a message. What kind of message? That I'm vulnerable. That caring about you makes me weak. His laugh is bitter. They're not wrong. The admission hangs between us. I sink onto his desk, my legs suddenly unsteady. What happens now? Now I make it very clear that touching you means war. Jin moves to stand between my legs, his hands on my thighs. But Maya, I need you to understand. This is my world. This is what dating me means. There will always be people trying to use you to get to me. So what do I do? Live in fear? No. You let me protect you. His hands tighten on my thighs. Which means more security, limited solo outings, keeping me informed of your whereabouts at all times. That's not living, Jin. That's existing in a bubble. That's staying alive. His voice cracks slightly. Maya, I can't. If something happened to you because of me. I pull him closer, my hands framing his face. Hey, look at me. I knew what I was signing up for. Danger comes with the territory. You shouldn't have to, but I do, because you're worth it. The confession surprises us both. You're worth the security and the restrictions and the fear, because when I'm with you, I feel more alive than I ever have. His kiss is desperate, grateful. When he pulls back, his eyes are suspiciously bright. I don't deserve you. Probably not, but you have me anyway. I trace the line of his jaw. So what's the plan? How do we handle the Huang family? His smile is cold. We remind them why the Park family controls Koreatown, and we do it in a way that ensures no one ever threatens you again. That night, I watch Jin transform into someone else. The gentle, possessive lover disappears, replaced by a man who commands rooms with nothing but his presence. He makes calls in rapid Korean, his voice sharp with authority. Men come and go, all of them treating Jin like a king. Around midnight, he finds me in the bedroom, staring out at Manhattan's glittering landscape. Can't sleep? He asks, sliding his arms around my waist from behind. I'm watching you become someone else, I admit. Someone harder, colder. This is who I've always been, Maya. You're just seeing it now. I turn in his arms. No, this is who you have to be to survive your world. It's not who you are with me. His expression softens. You see too much. I see you, I correct. All of you, the darkness and the light, and I'm not going anywhere. Even though my world put you in danger? Especially because of that. I pull him down for a kiss. Because now I know what you're willing to do to protect me. And honestly, It's kind of hot. His laugh is surprised, genuine. You're insane. Or maybe I just understand you better than you think. I start unbuttoning his shirt. Now come to bed. Let me remind you who you are when you're not being the king of Koreatown's underworld. And who's that? Mine. I push his shirt off his shoulders. Just mine. The next morning, I wake to find Jin already dressed, making calls, but he pauses long enough to bring me coffee and kiss my forehead. I have to handle something, he says. Stay in the penthouse today. Security will be doubled. Jin, please, Maya, just today. Let me end this threat so we can go back to normal. Normal being you controlling a criminal empire? His smile is rueful. Normal being us, together, without external threats. After he leaves, I try to paint, but I can't focus. All I can think about is Jin out there, doing God knows what to handle the Huang family threat. The reality of who he is, what he does, has never been more clear. My phone rings. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Maya Richardson? A man's voice, Korean accent. Who is this? Someone who wants to help you. Jin Park is not who you think he is. Meet me, and I'll show you the truth. My stomach clenches. I'm not meeting anyone. Not even to learn about the people Jin Park has hurt, the lives he's destroyed, the blood on his hands. The voice is calm, persuasive. You think you know him, but you only see what he wants you to see. I'm hanging up your mother's medical debt, the reason she couldn't afford better cancer treatment. Did you know Jin's father's pharmaceutical company? I end the call, my hands shaking. It's a manipulation tactic. It has to be. But doubt creeps in like poison. When Jin comes home that evening, he finds me curled on the couch, my thoughts in turmoil. It's handled, he says, pulling me into his arms. The Huang family won't be a problem anymore. How did you handle it? His jaw tightens. Do you really want to know? Yes. He studies my face for a long moment. Then, I bought their primary revenue source, a string of restaurants they were using for money laundering. I exposed their operation to federal investigators, and I made it clear that any further threats against you would result in total war. You destroyed their business. I protected you. His voice is steel. I'd destroy 100 businesses if it kept you safe. The certainty in his voice should comfort me. Instead, it terrifies me, because I'm realizing that Jin Park will do anything, absolutely anything, for the people he claims, including things that might make him irredeemable. Someone called me today, I say quietly. They said you're not who I think you are, that you've hurt people. Jin goes very still. Who called you? I don't know, they wouldn't say. What did they tell you? I meet his eyes. They mention my mother's medical debt, your father's pharmaceutical company. Jin's expression goes blank. Maya, tell me the truth, Jin. All of it. Because if we're doing this, if I'm really yours, I need to know who you are, not the version you show me, the real version. For a long moment, he's silent. Then he stands, moving to the windows. When he speaks, his voice is hollow. My father's company manufactures generic drugs, cheap, accessible medications for people who can't afford name brands. But they also lobby against healthcare reform. They fund politicians who keep drug prices high. They profit from the system that made your mother choose between treatment and bankruptcy. The words land like blows. I've worked for him since I was 25, Jin continues. I've made decisions that hurt people. Not directly, but through systemic harm. The casinos I run, they prey on gambling addiction. The money laundering, it enables organized crime. Every dollar I've spent on you, every gift, every dinner, that money came from suffering. He turns to face me, and the anguish in his eyes is real. So yes, I've hurt people. More than I can count. And the person who called you today? They're not wrong. I'm not a good man, Maya. I'm just a man who's very good at pretending. The confession hangs between us, raw and honest and devastating. I should leave, walk away, go back to my simple life where moral compromises weren't required. But I don't. Because somewhere in the past 3 weeks, I've fallen in love with Jin Park. All of him. The darkness and the light, the violence and the tenderness. The man who destroys his enemies and worships me like religion. I need you to leave, I say quietly. His face goes white. Maya, not forever, just tonight. I need to think, to process all of this. If you walk away, I'm not walking away, I interrupt. I'm asking for space. Can you give me that? For a moment, I think he'll refuse. Then he nods, moving toward the door, but he pauses at the threshold. I love you, he says, the words raw. I should have told you before, but I love you, Maya. You're the only good thing in my entire corrupted life. And if you leave, I'll understand. But I'll never stop loving you. Then he's gone, and I'm alone with the weight of impossible choices. I don't sleep. I pace Jin's penthouse, our penthouse, wrestling with truths I can't unlearn. The sun rises over Manhattan, painting the sky in shades of rose and gold, and I'm still torn between love and conscience. By 8 a.m., I've made my decision. I text Jin, "Come home, we need to talk." He arrives within 15 minutes, still wearing yesterday's clothes, his eyes bloodshot like he hasn't slept either. The vulnerability in his expression makes my heart ache. "Before you say anything," he starts, "I want you to know that I'll respect whatever you decide. If you need to leave, I'll let you go. I'll make sure you're safe, that you're taken care of, but I won't force you to stay in a world that compromises who you are." "Sit down," I say quietly. He sits on the couch, and I take the chair across from him, maintaining distance for this conversation. For a moment, neither of us speaks. "I spent all night thinking about everything you told me," I finally say. "About your father's company, the casinos, the money laundering, about all the ways your wealth is built on suffering." Jin's hands clench into fists on his knees. "Maya." "Let me finish." I take a breath. I also thought about my mother, about watching her choose between medication and rent, about the system that made her medical care unaffordable. And you're right. Your father's company is part of that system. You're part of that system. His face is carefully blank, but I can see the pain in his eyes. But here's the thing I realized. I continue. We're all part of systems that hurt people. I buy coffee from companies that exploit farmers. I use phones made by people in sweatshops. I exist in a capitalist structure that requires suffering at the bottom to maintain luxury at the top. None of us are clean, Jin. The difference is that you're honest about your complicity. Something like hope flickers across his face. "So I'm not leaving," I say, "but I do have conditions. New ones. Anything. First, I want you to set up a foundation. Use some of that dirty money to fund healthcare access for low-income communities. Make it substantial. Make it matter." Jin nods immediately. "Done. What else?" "Second, I want transparency moving forward, not about every business decision, but about anything that could impact us. No more surprises." "Agreed." "Third," I stand, moving closer, "I want you to stop pretending you're a monster. You've done harmful things, yes. You exist in a corrupt system, yes. But you're also the man who bought my entire exhibition because he saw value in my work, who set up a studio so I could create without financial stress, who looks at me like I'm the sun and he's been living in darkness." I kneel in front of him, taking his hands. You're not irredeemable, Jin Park. You're just human, flawed and complicated and trying to survive in a world that rewards cruelty. And I love you. All of you. His breath catches. You love me? I love you, I confirm. Even though you're dangerous. Even though your world terrifies me. Even though loving you means living with moral compromises I never thought I'd make. I love you. Jin pulls me into his lap, his arms wrapping around me like he's afraid I'll disappear. Say it again. I love you. His kiss is desperate, grateful, reverent. When he pulls back, there are tears on his cheeks. I'll set up the foundation today, he promises, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of you. You already are. I wipe his tears away. But Jin, I need you to understand. If we're doing this, really doing this, you can't protect me from everything. I need to know what's happening in your world. I need to be part of the decisions that affect us. His jaw tightens. Some of what I do. I know. Some of it is violent. Some of it is illegal. I'm not asking to participate. I'm asking to be informed, to be your partner, not just someone you keep safe in a gilded cage. For a long moment, he studies my face. Then he nods. Okay, partners. But Maya, if there's ever a situation where keeping you safe means keeping you in the dark, we'll negotiate, together. I frame his face with my hands. I'm not fragile, Jin. I'm strong enough to handle your truth. Trust me with it. I do trust you. His thumb strokes my cheekbone. You're the only person I trust completely. That afternoon, Jin makes good on his promise. He calls his attorneys, his accountants, his board members. By evening, the Park Foundation for Healthcare Access is established with an initial endowment of $50 million. It's not enough to fix a broken system, but it's a start. We're celebrating with champagne when Jin's phone rings. He glances at it, and something dark crosses his face. It's my father. Answer it, I say. I should meet him eventually. Jin's expression suggests he'd rather do anything else, but he answers, switching to Korean. The conversation is brief, tense. When he hangs up, his jaw is tight. He wants to meet you, tomorrow night. Family dinner. My stomach clenches. Is that a good thing? It's a test. Jin pulls me close. He's heard about you, about us, about the foundation. He wants to assess whether you're a weakness he needs to eliminate. Eliminate as in convince me to leave you. He won't physically hurt you. Family has rules. But he'll try to expose why we're incompatible. Why you don't belong in our world. Maybe I don't. You belong with me. That's all that matters. Jin's arms tighten around me. But Maya, I won't lie to you. Tomorrow night will be difficult. My father is formidable, and he won't be kind. I can handle difficult. I know you can. But I need you to understand. Whatever he says, however he tries to undermine us, I'm with you. Always. The Park family estate is in Westchester, a sprawling compound behind gates and security. Jin holds my hand the entire drive, his thumb stroking reassuring circles on my skin. Remember, he murmurs as we pull up. You don't have to prove anything to him. You're already everything I need. But he wants me to prove I'm worthy of you. He wants to prove you're not. There's a difference. Jin cups my face. Just be yourself. He'll either accept it or he won't, but his opinion doesn't change mine. The house is a monument to wealth, all dark wood and Asian art, and spaces designed to intimidate. Jin's father is waiting in a formal dining room, seated at the head of a table that could seat 20. Park Jae-sung is in his 60s, still handsome, radiating the kind of power that doesn't need to announce itself. He stands when we enter, his gaze assessing me with surgical precision. "So, this is the artist," he says in perfect English. "Maya Richardson. My son speaks very highly of your work. Thank you, Mr. Park." I accept his handshake, firm, brief, calculated. "Please sit." He gestures to seats on either side of him. Jin and I exchange glances before complying, separated by his father's position at the head of the table. Dinner is elaborate. Traditional Korean courses served by silent staff. Park Jae-sung makes polite conversation about my exhibition, my background, my parents. It all feels like reconnaissance. "Your mother passed from cancer," he says midway through the meal. "Pancreatic, I believe?" "Yes." "Terrible disease, very expensive to treat." His eyes hold mine. I understand she accumulated significant debt before her death. Beside me, Jin goes very still. "She did," I say carefully. "Medical care in this country is prohibitively expensive for many people." "Indeed, which is why my pharmaceutical company works to provide affordable generics." His smile doesn't reach his eyes. "Of course, affordable is relative. Sometimes even generics are out of reach for families like yours." It's a subtle dig, perfectly delivered, reminding me that I come from poverty, that I'll never truly fit into their world. Which is why the foundation Jin and I established will focus on healthcare access, I say smoothly, making sure other families don't face the same impossible choices mine did. Park Jae-sung's expression doesn't change, but something sharp flickers in his eyes. "Ah, yes, the foundation. Quite generous. $50 million is substantial. It's a start. A start toward what? Assuaging guilt? Making yourself feel better about accepting money built on the same system that failed your mother?" "Father." Jin's voice is warning. It's a fair question. I meet Park Jae-sung's eyes directly. "You're right. It is built on that system. But rejecting the money doesn't fix the system. Using it strategically might. How pragmatic." His tone suggests that's not a compliment. "Tell me, Ms. Richardson, what do you think my son's future holds?" "I think it holds whatever he chooses." "Does it?" "Because the path he's on, distracted by romance, establishing foundations, making emotional decisions, that's not the path of a man prepared to lead our organization. Maybe your organization needs a different kind of leadership." The room goes silent. Park Jae-sung's eyes narrow. "You presume to understand our world after 3 weeks in it?" "I understand that Jin is brilliant and capable and worthy of more than just perpetuating his father's legacy." I lean forward. "I understand that he could build something better, something that doesn't require moral compromise at every turn." "And you think love is enough to make that possible?" Park Jae-sung's laugh is cold. "How naive. Love is a luxury, Ms. Richardson. In our world, it's also a liability. It makes you weak, vulnerable, subject to manipulation. Or it makes you stronger." Jin's voice cuts through the tension. "Maya doesn't make me weak, Father. She makes me better, braver, more willing to question the systems I've accepted my entire life. She makes you reckless. She makes me human." Jin stands, pulling me up beside him. "And I'm done pretending that's a flaw. You built an empire, Father. I respect that, but I don't have to build the same kind. Maya's helping me imagine something different." "If you pursue this," Park Jae-sung's voice goes cold. "If you continue down this path of sentiment over strategy, you'll lose everything. The respect of our associates, your position in the organization, everything I've built for you. Then I'll build something new." Jin's hand finds mine. With her. We leave the estate in tense silence. Only when we're back in Manhattan, safe in our penthouse, does Jin finally speak. "I'm sorry. I knew he'd be harsh, but he was testing us." I pulled Jin close, trying to see if we'd break under pressure. We didn't. We might have just cost me my inheritance. Good. Build your own legacy. I kiss him softly. One that doesn't require you to be someone you're not. Jin's smile is slow and genuine. You're incredible. You know that? I know I love you. And I know we're going to figure this out together. 3 months later, Jin cuts ties with his father's organization. He maintains control of several legitimate businesses, but exits the money laundering operations, the casinos, everything that required moral compromise. It's terrifying and liberating. We live on less than before, though less is still more than most people dream of. The foundation grows, funded by Jin's legitimate income. My art career explodes after a critic from the Times writes a piece about my exhibition. We're not perfect. There are still shadows, connections Jin can't fully sever, favors called in from his past, moments when the dangerous man I first met flickers to the surface. But we're honest, partners, building something real from the wreckage of who we used to be. And 6 months after that terrible dinner with his father, Jin gets down on one knee in our private gallery, surrounded by my paintings. I'm still dangerous, he says, still flawed, still carrying baggage from a world I'm trying to leave. But I love you, Maya Richardson. You make me want to be better, to build better. Will you marry me? I don't hesitate. Yes. The ring is stunning, an emerald surrounded by diamonds. Ethical stones, he assures me. Nothing from blood trade. We get married in a small ceremony on the penthouse rooftop. Jasmine is my maid of honor. Jin's security team fills in as groomsmen. Park Jae-sung doesn't attend, but Jin's mother does, crying quietly and telling me I'm good for her son. Our first dance is to jazz, something smooth and soulful. Jin holds me close, murmuring in my ear. Thank you. For what? For seeing me. For saving me. He kisses my temple. For being brave enough to love a man who didn't deserve you. You deserve me, I correct. You always did. You just needed to believe it. As we sway together, Manhattan glittering around us, I think about the woman I was 6 months ago. Lost, hurt, believing I wasn't enough. Now I know the truth. I was always enough. I just needed someone who could see it. And Jin Park, dangerous, devoted, complicated Jin Park, sees everything.